The night sky over Earth was quiet. Stars shimmered like they always did. People in big cities were walking home. Some were laughing. Some were tired. No one knew that this normal night was about to change forever. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A deep sound echoed in the air. People looked up and their eyes widened. Massive ships broke through the clouds. Their size blocked the moonlight. Streets filled with shouts. Cars stopped. Phones were raised to capture the impossible sight. The ships were not human. Their surface glowed with strange lights. They moved slowly and without effort, as if they owned the sky. Then a voice came. Not from speakers, not from the air, but inside every head, inside every heart. The words were clear. Humans of Earth, surrender now or face your end. Panic spread like fire. Governments rushed to hold emergency meetings. Soldiers were sent to bases. People cried in fear. Some prayed, others shouted at the sky. But there was something unusual. Not all humans were afraid. Many laughed. Many shook their heads, as if they had been waiting for this day. Inside a small coffee shop in New York, a young woman named Lena wiped the counter with slow hands. Her customers were staring at the screen on the wall. The alien ships filled the broadcast. The message repeated, "Surrender now or be destroyed." Lena raised her eyebrow, poured coffee into 2 cups, and said quietly, "Well, that's rude. At least they could ask if we wanted coffee or tea first." Her voice was soft, but the words were heard by someone recording a live stream. Within minutes, her joke spread across social media. Millions watched and shared. The comment became a spark, a strange kind of courage. People started repeating it again and again. Coffee or tea first. Meanwhile, in Washington, leaders were pale. Their voices shook. The president listened to advisors screaming about missiles, shields, and negotiations. But outside the walls of power, ordinary people were building something else. They were building humor, unity, a refusal to bow. The alien council watched from their command ship. Their leaders' many eyes blinked in confusion. This was not the reaction they expected. Usually species begged, usually they screamed and surrendered. But humans were laughing. Some even danced in the streets holding cups of coffee. In London, a news anchor reported the alien threat, but halfway through the report she smiled and asked on air, "Do they take sugar in their tea?" The studio burst into laughter. People at home laughed too, and that laughter spread like fire, stronger than fear. But not everyone was calm. In a dark laboratory under the mountains, Dr. Nathan Carter worked silently. His hands moved fast across glowing screens. He had prepared for this day. His files were full of secret blueprints. His eyes did not show fear, but determination. "They think we will kneel," he whispered, "but they don't know us. They don't know what we are capable of." Back in the skies, alien weapons hummed with energy. A warning shot lit up the clouds. It was only a test, but the sound shook entire cities. Still, humans did not stop. The phrase grew louder. Messages painted on walls, voices on radio, endless streams online, all repeating, "Coffee or tea first." The diplomat for Earth, Maria Santos, stood before the United Nations with cameras watching. Her heart was heavy, but she knew what to say. She looked straight at the lens and said, "To the ones above us, if you want our surrender, you will have to wait. Because humans don't bow, we offer our hand first. We ask, coffee or tea." The world cheered. The aliens hesitated, and something changed in the air. It was the beginning of a story no one could have imagined. The sky was no longer silent. Earth was no longer the same. The ultimatum had been given, and humanity had answered in the strangest way possible. Not with fear, not with silence, but with a question that carried power hidden in its simplicity. Coffee or tea first. Inside the alien command ship, silence filled the chamber. The leader of the fleet, a towering figure with eyes that glowed like burning coals, stared at the endless streams of human broadcasts, each one showing the same mocking words, "Coffee or tea first." He slammed his clawed hand against the table. Sparks of light burst from the strange surface. His officers shifted nervously. This was not how wars began. This was not how species reacted. Usually fear was instant, but humans were different. They were unpredictable. The Council of 12, rulers of the invading empire, gathered through shimmering holograms. Voices hissed across the chamber. They do not understand the danger, one said. They are mocking us. They insult the Empire, another hissed. But one voice was quieter, older, more careful. Or perhaps they know something we do not. Back on Earth, the joke had grown into a movement. In cafes and kitchens, in shelters and streets, humans held up mugs as symbols. Laughter echoed where tears once lived. Children painted posters of aliens holding teacups. Soldiers spray-painted words on tanks. Coffee or tea first. The aliens did not understand. Their scanners showed rising energy across the planet, but not from weapons, from humans themselves, the strange force of unity, a kind they had never measured before, inside a secret underground base. Dr. Nathan Carter studied alien signals. His eyes narrow, his fingers restless on the controls. He whispered, "They are confused. Good. We need more time. Every laugh, every word, it buys us hours to finish Project Brewstorm." Above the clouds, alien ships hovered like mountains of steel, their weapons charged, their patience fading. The alien leader gave an order. Prepare Phase 2. Show them the power of the Empire. But even as the order left his lips, doubt gnawed at him. Why were humans not afraid in the galactic capital, far away from Earth? Debates broke out across endless star systems. Merchants feared trade collapse. Generals demanded full annihilation. Scholars whispered about ancient prophecies. The humans are cursed with resilience, one elder muttered. They laugh at death itself. Meanwhile, Maria Santos, the diplomat who had spoken to the world, stood in a quiet room overlooking the ocean. Her phone buzzed endlessly with calls from leaders. She ignored most of them. Instead, she whispered to herself, "If they fear our laughter, then we must laugh louder." Suspense grew. The alien fleet began moving into tighter formation. People on Earth watched the skies with dread. Everyone expected the next attack. Yet at the same time, the streets were alive with courage. In Paris, a violinist played music under the glowing alien shadow. In Tokyo, thousands gathered in silence holding teacups. In Brazil, fireworks lit up the night sky as if to mock the invaders. The alien leader's claws trembled. He turned to his second-in-command. "What kind of species meets death with laughter?" the officer replied coldly. "A dangerous one." Deep inside the Empire, whispers spread through conquered worlds. Races once broken by the Empire heard of Earth's defiance. Hope stirred. Voices rose. If humans can resist, maybe we can too. The galaxy was shifting, not with weapons, but with words, and the aliens began to fear something they had never faced before. Not guns, not bombs, but the unstoppable storm of human spirit. As the second day of the invasion dawned, the ultimatum still echoed: surrender or be destroyed. But the answer from Earth was louder, stronger, and stranger than ever before. Coffee or tea first? The sun rose over a trembling Earth. Alien ships still covered the skies like dark clouds that refused to move. People expected the next strike, yet instead of falling into silence, humans did something no empire could predict. They gathered. They stood together. They refused to kneel. In the streets of Berlin, thousands marched holding mugs and kettles, chanting, "Coffee or tea first." Their voices echoed against the steel shadows of the alien fleet. In Cairo, imams and priests stood side by side, serving hot drinks to frightened families. Faiths that once divided people now united them. News cameras captured it all. Images of children handing tea to soldiers, workers painting murals of laughing faces under alien warships. Every picture carried the same message: humans would not break. Inside his underground lab, Dr. Nathan Carter stared at the screens. Energy readings pulsed with strange patterns. He turned to his assistant. "Look at this. Every time humans chant those words, global frequency rises. Our planet itself responds. Their unity is becoming a shield." The assistant's eyes widened. "You mean laughter and courage are creating power?" Carter nodded. "Yes, Project Brewstorm isn't only about machines. It's about people. Their spirit fuels the defense." Meanwhile, Maria Santos prepared for her next broadcast. She stood in front of a camera, her heart pounding. She knew billions were watching. She took a deep breath and said, "To the invaders above, you think we are weak, but you do not understand what it means to be human. We argue, we fight, but when the world is threatened, we become one family. We share our table, we share our tea, and we never surrender." Her words spread across the planet and beyond. Intercepted by alien scanners, the command ship grew restless. Officers hissed in anger. They taunt us again. They laugh at death. But the leader remained. Silent, his eyes fixed on the human broadcasts, something inside him felt uneasy. The aliens decided to test Earth again. Beams of energy shot down into the ocean. Boiling waves rose higher than skyscrapers. People screamed, but minutes later, videos appeared online of surfers riding the waves, laughing, shouting coffee or tea first. Even as chaos raged, the Empire could not understand. Fear was supposed to destroy, yet here it only created courage. In the slums of Mumbai, a boy held a cracked cup filled with warm tea. He looked up at the glowing alien ship and whispered, "You can take the sky, but you cannot take our spirit." His words, recorded on a simple phone, spread like fire, watched by millions, repeated by millions more. In secret hangars across the world, machines stirred, human warships hidden for years powered up, but their commanders knew the real weapon wasn't just steel or fire. It was the unity spreading like an unbreakable chain across the globe. Deep inside the alien council, fear began to grow. One commander whispered, "They fight with no fear. Their unity is unnatural. If they discover the weapon they hide, the Empire may face defeat." But humanity's true weapon had already awakened. It was not just Brewstorm. It was the spirit of billions refusing to bow. The third day of invasion ended. Not with silence, not with surrender, but with laughter, with songs, with mugs raised high against the shadows of warships. The aliens came for conquest, but instead they had awakened the one thing no empire should ever face, the weapon of unity. The fourth day began with silence. No broadcasts, no threats, only the cold shadow of alien ships above the earth. People held their breath, waiting, knowing the storm was coming. Then it happened. Without warning, a beam of pure fire cut through the sky. It struck an empty island in the Pacific in a single breath. But the land was gone. The sea swallowed it. The explosion sent shockwaves across continents. Windows shattered. Cities shook. The message was clear. The aliens were done waiting. Panic spread, but only for a moment. Then the screens lit up. Voices rose again. The message was louder than fear. "Coffee or tea first," the alien leader roared, his claws digging into the metal table. "They mock us even as we show our power. Destroy another city. Make them scream." But before the order could be carried out, another officer spoke. "Commander, wait. Something is happening." On Earth, Maria Santos stood before cameras again, the smoke of destruction behind her, her voice steady though her heart was breaking. "To the Empire above, you think this will silence us, but you are wrong. We do not kneel, we do not beg, we ask again, coffee or tea." Her words shook the alien command chamber. Their sensors picked up strange energy. Human unity was not fading, it was rising. In the underground lab, Dr. Nathan Carter stared at the readings, his voice shaking with both fear and excitement. "It's happening. Every attack increases their spirit. Project Brewstorm is nearly ready, but the true shield is their laughter." Outside, humanity responded in ways no empire could predict. In Sydney, crowds gathered at the coast where waves from the blast crashed. They sang together, waving mugs in the air. In New York, firefighters served tea to families in the streets. In Africa, tribes united under one banner for the first time in centuries. The alien leader could not understand. He turned to his second. "They lose land, they lose lives, yet they do not break. They grow stronger. What are these creatures?" The second bowed his head. "Commander, they are humans, and that is their curse and their power." Suspense grew heavier. Alien weapons charged again, their ships forming a circle around Earth. The next strike would not be a warning. It would be war in hidden bunkers. Human warships prepared to rise. Pilots sat in silence, their hands gripping controls, their hearts steady. Above them, the sky burned with alien light, but they waited for one signal. Maria Santos looked at the camera one last time before the strike, her voice calm. "To every human listening, hold the line, hold the laughter. The world is watching. The galaxy is listening. Do not bow, not now, not ever." The aliens unleashed their second strike, this time aimed at a human city. Beams of energy lit the night. Buildings turned to dust. Screams filled the air, but before despair could swallow the world, something new happened. A shield of light rose from the ground. Invisible at first, then glowing like fire across the sky. The alien beams struck but could not break through. Humans cheered, tears ran down their faces. The impossible had happened. Earth had survived. Dr. Nathan Carter whispered in his lab. Project Brewstorm has awakened. The alien fleet reeled back in shock, their sensors blaring, their confidence shaken for the first time. The war had begun, but so had the legend. The first strike did not break humanity. It gave birth to their true power. The world trembled from the alien strike, but the shield of light still shimmered across the skies. People stared upward with wide eyes, whispering, crying, then cheering. They had survived the impossible. In the underground base, Dr. Nathan Carter's hands shook over the console. Lights blinked faster, systems roared alive. For years he had prepared this moment. Project Brewstorm was no longer a dream, it was reality. The shield held, he whispered. Now we take the next step. His assistant leaned closer, eyes shining with hope. What is the next step? Carter smiled faintly, his face lit by the glow of the machines. Brewstorm was never only a shield, it is a weapon, a message. It uses the very unity of humanity as power. Every laugh, every refusal, every voice saying coffee or tea first, makes it stronger. Above the earth, the alien leader paced his command chamber, his eyes burned with rage. But deep inside, a shadow of fear grew. He turned to his council. Explain this. No species has ever resisted our strike. How do humans create such a shield? None could answer. Silence filled the chamber, silence that felt heavier than war on Earth. Maria Santos stood again before the world, her voice steady. We are alive. We will not break. Our laughter is our weapon. Our spirit is our shield. To the empire above, we ask again, coffee or tea? Across the globe, her words lit fires of courage in villages, cities, deserts, and mountains. People united. The phrase became more than a joke. It became a banner. Soldiers painted it on armor. Pilots carved it on wings. Children whispered it before sleep like a prayer. Meanwhile, deep in hidden hangars, giant doors began to open. From underground silos and secret bunkers, human warships rose. Their black steel gleamed under the alien shadows. They had been kept in silence for decades, projects denied and buried, but now they returned, powered by the same force that lit the shield. In Moscow, General Antonov watched the first ship rise, his voice rough but proud. Let the invaders taste what they fear. Let them learn that humans never fight alone. In Tokyo, engineers cheered as their defense mechs activated, their screens filled with the message, coffee or tea first, flashing across monitors. Laughter filled the control rooms even as war approached. The alien fleet scanned the new threat. Confusion spread among their officers. They were supposed to be primitives, one hissed. How do they have such weapons? Another cried. The leader's claws dug deep into the steel floor. This planet is cursed. Every strike makes them stronger. But there was another secret hidden within Brewstorm. Dr. Carter's eyes burned with determination. They think this is only about defense, he whispered. But soon they will see the storm we prepared, not of fire, but of spirit and science combined. Suspense tightened. Alien weapons glowed once again. Their fleet ready to strike harder, stronger, deadlier than before. Yet Earth no longer looked helpless. Humanity stood with shields glowing, ships rising, voices laughing in defiance. In the shadows of space, whispers spread to other enslaved worlds. The humans rise, the empire trembles. Maybe the age of fear is ending. The galaxy watched as two powers prepared to clash, one with fire and domination, the other with unity and spirit. The hidden plan was awakening, and it was far greater than the Empire could ever imagine. The skies above Earth burned with light. Alien warships formed a deadly circle. Their weapons glowed like suns ready to explode. Below them, human ships rose one by one, their black steel shining against the fire of the invaders. The air trembled with the weight of the coming storm. The alien commander raised his claw, his voice a thunder in the chamber. Fire! Beams of destruction cut through the sky. Streaks of energy slammed against Earth's shield. The glow shook. Sparks rained like falling stars. Cities trembled. Oceans roared. But the shield did not fall. It pulsed brighter. Every chant, every laugh, every voice across Earth gave it strength. Billions whispered the words, coffee or tea first. And the shield held. Then came humanity's answer. Human warships fired. Missiles streaked into the heavens. Beams of plasma ripped across the alien hulls. For the first time in centuries, the Empire's fleet shook under the fire of a species they had called primitive. On the streets below, people cheered, not in fear but in pride. Children waved mugs to the sky, soldiers on the ground raised their fists. Their courage rose like a second shield, invisible but stronger than steel. Inside his lab, Dr. Nathan Carter watched the readings spike, his eyes wide. Yes, it's working. Every strike they make, every laugh we give, the shield grows, the ships grow stronger. This is not only science, this is spirit made into power. In orbit, chaos spread through the alien fleet. Officers shouted, "Their weapons are too advanced, their shield impossible." But the commander's voice was bitter. No, it is not their weapons, it is them. They fight with madness, they fight with laughter. As the battle raged, Maria Santos gave another broadcast, her face calm, though fire lit the skies behind her. To the people of Earth, to the galaxy watching, remember this moment? Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not fear. We ask again, coffee or tea? Her words echoed across human ships. Pilots smiled even as they flew into fire. Soldiers laughed in the face of death. The phrase painted on armor, carved into steel, it became more than words. It became war cry. Alien ships exploded one by one. Fireballs lit the night, their wreckage falling like meteors into the sea. The commander roared in rage. Push harder! Crush them! They cannot win! Yet for every human ship destroyed, 3 more seemed to rise. Unity itself was summoning strength from hidden places. The clash lasted for hours. Earth's skies were torn apart by storms of fire. But through it all, the voices of billions did not stop. Laughter rang in shelters. Music played in streets. The spirit of Earth fought side by side with its warriors. By dawn, smoke covered the horizon, but the alien fleet was no longer whole, their circle broken, their confidence shattered. Humanity had survived the first true battle. The alien commander stared at the screens, his voice trembling for the first time. This is no ordinary species. They fight with more than weapons. They fight with something the Empire cannot measure. Dr. Carter whispered the same words far below. They fight with fire and laughter, and that is our greatest weapon. The clash of fire and laughter had begun to change the galaxy, and the Empire knew the war was no longer theirs to control. The galaxy held its breath. Smoke and fire curled above Earth. Broken alien warships drifted in silence. Humanity had survived the greatest battle in its history, but the war was not over. Inside the alien command ship, the leader sat alone in his chamber. His eyes burned with fury, but also with something unfamiliar. Doubt. He had seen empires crumble. He had crushed hundreds of worlds, but never had he seen a species laugh at destruction. Never had he seen defiance turn into power. He gave a single order, his voice low and sharp. Connect me to their leader. I will speak to these humans myself. On Earth, Maria Santos stood before the camera again, her face pale from exhaustion, her clothes marked with smoke, yet her eyes burned with steady fire. The screen flickered, and the image of the alien leader appeared before the entire world. He leaned forward, his voice heavy with threat and confusion. Why do you not fear us? Why do you mock us? Why do you laugh when death stands over you? The silence that followed felt endless. Billions waited. Soldiers held their breath. Children clutched their cups. Maria raised her head slowly, her lips curled into a faint smile. Because we are human, she said softly. Because when we are afraid, we laugh. When we are weak, we share, and when we are threatened, we offer something simple, something that says we are still in control. She lifted a cup into view, steam rising from it, and whispered, "Coffee or tea?" The words echoed across the galaxy, through every human shelter, through every alien chamber. It was not a question anymore. It was a declaration. The alien leader's eyes narrowed, his claws tightened, but for the first time in his long reign he felt small, powerless before a species that turned war into humor, that turned fear into unity. His officers whispered behind him, "Commander, their spirit is unbreakable. Their shield grows stronger. The fleet cannot win. If we stay, we will be destroyed." He slammed his fist against the console. Sparks burst into the air. Rage and pride tore at him, but the truth was clear. Humanity had survived the Empire's strongest strike. Humanity had shattered the illusion of invincibility. Slowly, he gave the order. no one thought he would ever speak. Retreat. Cheers erupted across Earth. People poured into the streets. Soldiers hugged strangers. Families wept with joy. Fireworks lit the night sky as broken alien ships fled into the darkness. In his lab, Dr. Nathan Carter fell to his knees, exhausted, tears in his eyes. We did it. Not with weapons alone, but with spirit, with laughter, with unity. The galaxy changed that day. Enslaved worlds whispered the words of humanity, coffee or tea first. And for the first time in centuries, the Empire trembled not from weapons, but from hope. Maria Santos lowered her cup, her voice soft but strong. Let this be remembered. Humanity does not bow. We invite, we laugh, we fight together. And if you come to our door again, we will ask the same question, coffee or tea? The war was over, but the legend had only begun. The story of Earth's defiance spread like wildfire, carried on every signal, every whisper, a tale not of surrender but of laughter. And so, in the darkest war the galaxy had seen, the final cup became the symbol of humanity's greatest victory.